5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Well, I ran into an article that was just great. I'm slowly inching toward quality versus launching it on time, since most of my viewers tell me that they are watching it offline on the replay, which is fine. You know, that's their prerogative. Watch whenever you like. But also, there's a news item that I think I'm going to touch on coming out of Asia that is to this point as well. So let's dig into the news, and I will try to keep an eye on the time as we wander. Okay, first of all, I thought this was big news because, well, as it states in the article, the threat of increased regulation continues to loom over Google. Okay, with the antitrust investigations launched by 50 states and territories, adding to the federal investigations in America. You know, the hard part about investigating Google is Google doesn't know what Google's doing. You know, algorithms are fragmented. How do you know what Google shows to me? How do I know what Google shows to you? It's a very sticky problem. And yes, we can create robot Google viewers. But Google might figure it out and not show them the same things that they're showing you. That's the fun part about segmented digital advertising. Can't really tell what's going on, which we'll get to in a minute. Okay, but anyway, in Europe there were two court cases. One was against Google using snippets of publishers' work, so they were sharing newspaper, you know, pieces of newspaper. So if you like today, I Googled what is SVOD, and I thought it was streaming video on demand or something on your desk, on your device. It wasn't either, none of those. But I found an article that said what it was, and so great for that. You know, if Google can't use the publisher's stuff, then Google has nothing, and you know, that could easily happen. But in this case, so one case was about that, and another was about a taxation issue where Hungary wanted to tax Google's ads. And I'm not sure why Hungary thought they got a share of it, but I don't know. Anyway, you know, it's funny how complicated things get. And so the German, I'm guessing, European Commission on Journalism, I don't know what ECJ means, but that would be a guess. That sounds like, you know, the EU loves these acronym things, but they don't mean it. They don't mean anything to me. But for some reason, there's a law that says you can't use snippets, and then the German court asked the European Commission, and they said they didn't know about the law, so you can't enforce it, or some goofball thing. I don't know, but there's loopholes in loopholes. But here's the bottom line, and something else. Here's the bottom line. Both cases demonstrate how the fact that a number of investigations and legal cases are being launched against the industry's dominant players doesn't necessarily mean it'll yield any results. And many legal experts are skeptical about how much of an impact ongoing antitrust investigations at the federal level will have. That's what I've been telling you. Don't count on the feds to rein in Google when, if they do, their website may not show up, may disappear on Google searches, as we already saw once this spring in the Democrat debates. I'm not saying it was on purpose, but it was a great case in point. You know, I covered it, and what happened was there was one of the participants in the debate made some claims about reining in Google, and so it got lots and lots of searches. Ridiculous number of spike in search requests. And Google flags that as probably fraudulent because it's such a dramatic expanse. And Google's asking me if I want anything. And so they blocked it for 2 days. They didn't know. I mean, that's their story. And how can you verify that they knew that they were doing it or they didn't? It sounds plausible to me. And as Scott Adams always says, incompetence is a better explanation and most likely right, way above malicious deviance. Anyway, moving on. Don't count on Google to get reined in because you'd have to search for it to find it. Okay. Here's a new one that it hadn't never occurred to me. Is Lunchtime the new Primetime? Lunchtime was always considered off-peak for advertisers, but new research shows that the weekly lunch hour is now a prime viewing opportunity, right? You can Deliveroo to your desk, and millions of us are streaming content waiting for our delivery orders to arrive. Media snacking has proliferated, and according to the procrastination economy, the big business of downtime, he says, we're watching it and we're watching it together. I usually watch Scott Adams after I do my stream, which is probably a good idea because I get engaged in that. Fox Sports had lunch with benefits, and nighttime talk shows cut down the content. My kids send me links from Jimmy Kimmel and other people that they think are funny, and I always watch them. And so, yeah, we're watching little snippets. So, if you want global marketing news, you might want to pull mine up later in the day. It's okay. By then, usually my archive on YouTube is ready. I do that myself, and I trim off some of the fat, but not much. And so I really think that makes a lot of sense. Have a water cooler conversation. Talk about the marketing news. Yeah, right. Me versus Jimmy Kimmel. Anyway, it could happen. Watching clips together and discussing the content whilst they watch in a time shift. Here's the part that I thought was astounding. 37% of viewing on SVOD, and I'll tell you what that means in a second, was just a few percentage points behind watching on a plane and watching on a bus. Notice all three are above watching at home, which is usually where I watch, in my comfy chair. Wow. 86% of London workplace watches SVOD. It's subscription video on demand. So, like my Netflix. Although I don't have it on my device, which is probably good because, I wouldn't get. I don't know if I'd ever have amounted to anything if I had the entertainment options I have now while I was in school or early in my career. But anyway, 3 out of 4 workplace professionals talk to their colleagues about what they're currently watching, and lunchtime is the perfect time for entertainment clients to showcase their latest short-form content. Okay. So here's the article I really wanted to talk about. Marketers need more sense to stem the tide of CMO firings. This is from my friend Tom Barta. I will link to. It was just a superb article. I highly recommend it. This year saw a record number of top marketers being fired or their CMO titles being changed. Here is a short list, a big list, right? And it's not just that they're getting removed, and it's that they're getting their titles changed. They're getting kicked out of the C-suite. I think, and I have to say, often rightly so. When we hit the internet, I saw a dramatic shift from actual measurable, not measurable. I saw testing, hard scientific testing. Go to scientificadvertising.com, read Claude Hopkins' book right there, free PDF. I don't get anything out of it. It has nothing to do with me. We had reached maybe a pinnacle in actually using data in advertising. And along came digital. And most of the digital experts had like 10 seconds of actual experience. It was sad. And I saw people going from really focused on ROI to focused on clicks and eyeballs and all of the new metrics that meant nothing. And yeah, it worked for Amazon because they were great at raising money and didn't have to worry about making a profit. But so many great companies went out of business because they were looking at the digital hype instead of the ROI. And agencies are, they just ditched "we sell or else," which was David Ogilvy, one of my heroes, to "we change or else." Yeah, change is about 90% negative, I have to tell you. And as you get older, you'll realize it even more. When CMOs, this is the point. Thanks, Thomas. When CMOs get kicked out of the boardroom, so will the customer voice. Yeah, not just that, but the marketing voice too. When everybody in marketing gets a funny title, so will you one day. My entire career has been battling for true ROI. We model on EBITDA. Almost no other modelers do that. Why? I don't know. They're lazy, I guess. Or that's not what's fashionable. What's fashionable is modeling on SEO. Sorry, we model on EBITDA. If you want real growth and profitability, one of the best practice consultants in our industry said you can't both grow and have profit. So he shrank a company and has almost killed it. Okay. Digital. Here, this is the best line in the whole thing. Digital could easily become the shovel which marketers are digging their own graves. And just to put it in perspective, Adobe, one of the top MarTech firms, spends a large chunk of their budget on analog marketing, namely events. Right? And I'm going to reprise that explanation of why mail is the best foundation for AI. But AI and machine learning is the best foundation for profitable growth if you build it right, because it gives you surprises. And surprises are the way you launch new divisions. It's the way you launch whole new industries. It's built on surprise, just like basic philosophy of science. It's built on a shift in the worldview. It's built on surprise. So if you're not generating surprises along with tweaking performance, then you're barking up the wrong tree. Bailey's, and you can try the purpose and you can try the brand image. Bailey's said it was about empowering women, but women didn't care. Now it's repositioned itself as an adult treat and it's growing again. You got to understand the bottom line. The art of marketing leadership is to play value creation, but the CEO lives and dies on profitable growth. And that is everything. Right here, we can put, you got to generate profitable growth. And you do it both by improving the targeting and the message. Those are basically the only two levers you got. And along the way, generating surprises that pay off. Where are we succeeding that we didn't know about? And if you're using RFM, you're never going to see them. You're never going to see them. RFM masks where you're succeeding on the side. It masks surprises. And if you're doing AI, guess what? It masks surprises. So I hope you hung on till the end, because this is a powerful article. Thomas is a marketing leadership expert, speaker, and co-author of 12 Powers of a Marketing Leader. He's really smart. Way to go, Thomas. We should be working together. I'm John Miglosh. Have a great day. Watch this at lunch. Share it at lunch. You can bookmark it on LinkedIn. Go for it. Your friends will